I have two questions for you. How many of you have moved abroad because you were offered a job? Can I see some hands? Okay, about a third, maybe a little over. And how many of you moved abroad for other reasons and then looked for a job? Okay, about the same. I know I did that one. I'm a dual career professional, which means that every few years, my family and I move to a new country, and then I have to look for a job. And since 2014, I've been living in the European Union, where free movement of workers is a founding principle of the internal market, where people are encouraged to travel to other countries in search of jobs. Yet finding meaningful, decent work is no easy task. It's complicated enough to make a geographical transition, to adapt to a new culture, to learn new languages. Building a career while moving at the same time requires that skills, interests, and opportunities come together in a targeted way. Career transitions are all about the learning curve. Learning new social skills, new technical competencies, adapting as fast as possible. I believe in today's world of work, individuals more than ever need career support in relearning professional roles, in rewiring work relationships. That's why today I'm going to talk about managing career transitions in a dual career mobility context. The dual career narrative looks something like this. Two people, married or not, embrace transitions together as a mobile couple. One partner has an attractive contract to go abroad, and the other is often traveling on what's called an accompanying spouse visa or partner. According to global mobility reports, there were 50 million expats working worldwide in 2014. Unemployed spouses were counted in the 50 million, along with corporate transferees, individual workers, and students. Typically, what we know about accompanying spouses or partners is in relation to the partner with a job. Simply put, if an accompanying spouse cannot find career opportunities in a host country, then a company cannot retain the employee. We know several things about the spouses. We know their gender composition, we know age ranges, employment or unemployment status. In a recent 2017 survey, here we are again, global platform found out that 88% of their members are women. Maybe that's why many studies up to now have focused on gender dynamics within dual career couples and also cultural adaptation of the spouses. Yet what we understand less is how they manage their careers. How do they make career decisions? What do they think about networking? How do they network? My own dual career experience has extended nearly 10 years in multiple countries. I am a student of European politics and integration, but my personal choices and my family life took me away from Europe to Asia, to the Middle East, and then to the United States. I have to say that in those previous relocations, I felt isolated from formal career support. And don't get me wrong, I didn't have trouble finding a job. I can be creative in finding meaningful work for myself. But often connecting the dots to build a career takes something a bit more structured. Today, my family has a new assignment. We have a contract for 6 years to live in Denmark, and possibly longer. Off and on, I work in the field of human resources, and through my projects, I meet other spouses like myself who are starting over again in a new country. These spouses are not somebody's wife, somebody's husband. They are global professionals. And like many job seekers, they have transitional risks. They face challenges. One, because they have moved, they experience a break from their social networks. They're away from their families, primary contacts, friends. And two, they get disconnected from their professional circles, peers, coworkers with whom they share similar problem-solving approaches. How many of you have felt that isolation when you moved abroad? I think social isolation and professional disconnect make it very difficult to start over. Often people find themselves stuck in between roles and identities. Herminia Ibarra of INSEAD Business School calls this phenomenon liminality, a state of being stuck in between. What we hope, or what I hope, is to avoid being liminal for too long. And this is why I seek guidance. So in my recent transition to Denmark, I found formal career support through my husband's workplace, a public institution with growing number of foreign employees. I think I can say, at least in that country, there is an adaptation, a transition into acknowledging this as a problem that requires a solution. The human resource department that processed my husband's contract connected me to a private company. And through them, I was able to take classes on local work culture. I learned how to use LinkedIn, even though I had a LinkedIn account. I learned to grow my network. But more importantly, I gained access to my first local network when I arrived. So I'm sure many of you know, the general advice for anyone who's of working age is to start and keep meeting new people in different professional contexts. Because even if you're well established in your career, networking is a valuable tool. I've already mentioned that I meet spouses like myself, and I find that often they vary greatly in their approach to networking, or what value they find in it. And I think it has something to do with occupational identity, which is something you build over time. I noticed that specialists, especially, who are nurses or rocket scientists, they maybe don't find as much value in broadly networking because they're interested in very specific roles and they would like to advance in a narrowly defined career track. But one of the transitional risks they have is an extended period of unemployment. And this is because their job options are limited to what's available in the local market. So perhaps what networking could help them do is to get a little creative and find interprofessional solutions to their situation. And I have a great example because through LinkedIn I met someone who used to be a primary school teacher in England and is now a training coordinator for one of the top hearing aid companies in Denmark. I think that's career support magic. Well, that was a specialist. Then there are generalists like myself. I can speak for myself that I'm flexible in the work that I do, and I'm open to exploring different roles. And I tend to look for non-industry specific jobs, technical writing, editing. I know some people do graphic design. You can work in any industry with these jobs. So generalists tend to like networking broadly, but maybe what their challenge is to make a story connecting those dots and building their career. So specialist or generalist, these professionals require transitional support, especially in finding and using their networks. So one question I ask myself as I meet these people is there a perfect network for all? And I'm going to say yes, to be positive. There is a type of network that's a mix of internal and external relationships. It's called a membership organization. And maybe because of social media and how we connect today in the world, we've forgotten the value of what membership organizations provided. What it is that you have a local group and individuals pay to become a member. But these individuals are very diverse. They can be working in public sector, private sector, managers or students. They come together, they create activities or projects. This is their internal relationships. And then, through the projects that they create and the roles they take on, they build relationships in collaboration with local business community. And that's their external relationships. As expats, or as an expat myself, because I move frequently, I enjoy the ability to know that there will be an organization for me when I go there to my next destination, and that I could explore different roles while I'm transitioning. Because I think in today's fluctuating world of work, being in one role, in one company, is something that's a little bit rare. And I think in this, accompanying spouses are onto something larger. They're part of a global change of the way we build our career. I think their transitional experiences can inform different segments of the working age population, especially now, especially in the European Union, as we talk about integrating other mobile groups into our labor market. So there's no better way than to empower people by assisting them in their career transitions. Thank you.